Hi everyone. Right, I just thought, you know, I've had them in the shop, and there's some of these canvas spools. Just for decoration, basically, for your miniatures and things like that. Well, I just thought, well, we could make things like that. Now, I've got a bit of tubing that was left from a roll, and I've sliced it up. The end of the tubing I've put back in one of them, which has made a nice little spool. And then I've added some chipboard to another one that gives me another spool. And we can put a hole in that, doesn't matter. But what I thought was they're not hard to make. See? Not hard to make at all. I'm just going to square that one up a little. Square it up. I'm not going to square it up because it's round. I'm just going to chip that one off a little bit. Try and get it more even. That'll do. You know, I'm not fussed with that. That's fine. And then what we can do is to decorate them ourselves, so you don't have to buy them. I mean, it's silly because I do sell them, but for those who don't want to or can't afford it, you can make your own. So what we're going to do now is just to paint these. Not that one, it's already done, but to paint these two. And I'm just going to add a little bit of paint to this chipboard. Right. Get my brush. And then paint the whole thing, really. And put the hole back in, that's nothing. Really quick to do. Just dry that little bit off quickly. So I can grab hold of it. Oops. I'm painting the whole thing because I'm going to put a flat lace on this one. I know this is slightly bigger, but if you've got the smaller rolls, the tubing, you can use that, but for now I'm just using this one. And I can put this in a shadow box. You know, that's a really quick and easy thing to do. And you can make yourself a batch of these up, all different. So that's that one. So we're just going to do this one. Now I'm not sure. Yeah, I think it will. It'll paint over that. See, not fussed about that being on there either. I'm just painting that. When it's in a shadow box, you're not going to see that. And I've got my shadow box to finish, so I just thought, well, I'm going to do a sewing box again, so I might just as well prepare some things for it. So that's what I'm doing. Not exactly gone on straight, but the material will hide that, so I'm not that fussed at all. I say that a lot, don't I, in my videos? I'm not that fussed. I'm not. Things, if you hand make them, why shouldn't they look like, I mean, as long as they're decent, but why shouldn't they look like they're handmade and not shop bought? Right, we'll just let that one dry off and we'll go back to this one. I'm going to soak my brush when I've scraped up my paint, because we don't waste it. Put it back in your pot. That little bit would do a whole reel, so no point in wasting it, is there? Okay. So what I'm going to do, I had a little bit of lace. Here we are. I've got my lace here. I'm going to use some of this. And then what I'm going to do is just pop a little bit of glue on that edge without burning myself, because I usually do. And then we roll that. And you could use the whole piece, to be honest, which will thicken it up a little bit on the reel. But you can leave it like that or roll it. And I'm just going to do that with it. And leave some of that hanging off, and that will look far better. But if you wanted to go ahead and just decorate that up a little bit more, because you are, you know, if you're putting it in your box, then just add a little bit of pearl to it, like it's a pearl trim, lace and pearl. And something as simple as that will look brilliant in your shadow box. Oops, come out of the way. Won't it? Like that. I'm going to start from this side just to make sure I get them even. Like that. There we go, we can snip that off and press that in its place. And then if I wanted to, just to do it up a little bit more, is I might find a little doily or something, you know, like a little motif to go on there. Because I do have miniature ones somewhere. Somewhere. Little tiny ones. Oops, let me get my drawer out a little bit more. Now, here we go. Well, I've used them. I've got these. These will do. These are all, you know, the middles when you're cutting doilies up and that. I saved them all. But look, isn't that going to look fab? Sat in a shadow box. I'm going to top that off with a flat back pearl. There we go. From a bit of tubing to a nice spool. And that'll go in your shadow box. Very quick and very easy. So I'm just about, I don't know whether to use this one that I've, no, that's too small. I might do another one of those actually, because that is a little bit smaller, so it's going to look good, or just as good. So I'm just going to take my bit of lace, straighten that up, and it's going to probably go over a little bit, but I'm not fussed about that whatsoever. Pop that on. Okay, we wind that around the bobbin. And then we just simply hold that in there. I like to leave it loose because well, it just makes it look more real, if you know what I mean. Realistic, should I say. It's not quite dry, but that doesn't matter, it will. Now I haven't got a piece for that, but what I'm going to do, I'm going to use that Let me dry this off first. And we're actually going to put a false lid on it. So, like I say, waste not, want not. It's already painted. And I'm not that bad at cutting a circle out. I need to do it a little bit smaller. There, it doesn't have to be perfect, does it? Pop that on there. I can titivate that up a bit. Yes, I do use the word titivate. Why not? There we go. Pop this onto that. Make that the same. Pop, where's my beads? Here's my beads. Let's not forget to do the bead bit. I could have used a different lace, but no, I don't mind. If I don't want to use both of them, I just put one away for another time or another project. I'm just going to snip that off there. Pop that one in place. And take the glue off my finger. And let's do that again. I've got the paint on it because I left it. It's not dry. But, you know, hey ho. Turn that to the back, no one's going to see it. Are they? And there you go. See, from the front, who's going to see them? I'll just get a little pearl for the top of that one. I do have one slightly smaller. A little bit bigger than that one, I think. Oh, so let's have a look. Just see, I must have one somewhere. Yeah, I think that one will do. It's slightly smaller. And it's just going to look fine on there. There you go. Nice little spools. Hope you like that. Thanks for watching. Take care. I'll speak to you soon. Bye bye for now.